Hello, Truth Seekers. Lawrence here, and welcome to Easy Enlightenment. So, you want to be yourself, but you're not able to be yourself. Do you know why you're failing to be yourself? The answer is simple. The reason you're failing to be yourself is because you are constantly occupied in the mind. You are engaging with the mind. And the mind is not who you are. The true you is beyond the mind. So when you are engaging with the mind, you're prolonging the story, you are away from who you are. So that's the reason you're not able to rest in who you are. When you're not able to rest in who you are not able to be in ease. There is no sense of peace, the sense of happiness. And you are learning, you are seeking to be yourself. And when you're seeking to be yourself, in that seeking also, you are constantly occupied in the mind. Think about your spiritual practice. Especially nowadays, the meditation is the spiritual work. In the meditation, you want to be free. You want to find yourself, your true self. That's the reason to be part of the meditation. But notice, you're not able to do that. Why? Because in the meditation, you're focused on the mind. Focus on the mind, you bring further layers in yourself by hearing the ideas, and you prolong that idea, thinking those ideas is going to help you to be yourself. Meditation technique, mantras, body focus, chakras, tantra, mantra, even the creative work, creative meditation. None of them are helping you to be yourself, isn't it? Anything you add and you prolong that identification is you are becoming that. You're becoming that layer. Your focus is outwardly. So when your focus is outwardly, even you're focusing on yourself, now you're stagnating the inward journey by focusing on something. So basically, the spiritual practice is not really helping you to be yourself. You can justify yourself. No, I know how to be myself, but what you know about being yourself is identification with the mind, and you moving with that identification to communicate with the world, to dance with the world. And from that, yes, there is a momentary freedom, momentary happiness. You can create that with identification, but it comes and go. Your peace comes and go. Your happiness comes and go. So until you disidentify yourself with the mind, with the proper work, then you really can be yourself. That's the bitter truth, guys. You can be yourself until the mind is dismantled. And the process to be yourself is engaging with the mind, but in a way that you are peeling the mind until nothing is left. And that's the process. If you recognize that being part of the mind is not helping you, including the meditation approaches that you are aligned with, is not helping you to see your true self, then I recommend you to, be part of the subtractive journey, dismantling journey, and see what happens. Awakening to your authentic self, awakening to the true nature of who you are, or awakening to the plain sight truth is about tracing the mind backward. I know you have heard this, trace your mind backward, dismantle the mind, from me a lot of times. Probably you're bored from hearing what I'm saying. Your ego doesn't want to hear this anymore. Your ego doesn't want to hear this anymore. Ego gets bored by hearing the same thing again and again. But the spiritual practice is to make your ego self get bored. And if that is happening, and if you're interested in the path and you do the work, then you get to the truth. You get the chance to be yourself eventually. So, trace your mind backward. Trace your fear backward. Trace your attachment backward. Or trace your moment-to-moment friction backward. There's always something going on in everyone's life. There's a moment of friction, at least once a day. And when the friction is there, notice how we narrate the story, how that simple frictions starts to create mental and emotional fluctuation. And most of the time when this fluctuation is there, we are seeking knowledge how to win the friction, win the fight. And when we are seeking the ideas to win the fight, basically that attitude to win the fight is the ego seeking to win the fight. We could narrate the story in our head, engaging with the mind, trying to figure out, and once we figure out something, we be part of the outer conflict to win it. In the relative world, to make something, yes, we have to be aware, we have to rearrange the mind and put our upgraded mind in the world to connect the dots and move in a healthy way. But when it comes to spiritual freedom, all mind must be dissolved, because the spiritual practice is about figuring out who you are. And being part of the mind, narrating the mind, is not going to help you to figure out who you are, because who you are is not the mind. No matter how much you engage with the mind, you can't be yourself, your true self. True self is about letting go of the mind. True self is way back, which is no mind. To get to the no mind, the emptiness of who you are, which is conscious, to get to that stateless state, the mind must be dismantled, mind must be peeled. So if you want to be yourself, which is the freedom, spiritual freedom, then you really have to work on dissolving the mind. So the suggestion here is, when you feel the friction, work on your friction, trace your friction back. Why do I have this? Why do I experience this friction? Why do I experience this conflict? Why this experience is making me mad? So you question yourself. To get to the truth, you can use any experience. And if you trace it back, all the way back, until nothing is left, that's where you find your true self, your authentic self. The authentic self, true self, sounds also ego self. But this true self, or the ego, a true self or authentic self, is the self without the mind, without identification with the mind. And if you're able to get there by your sincere work, uncompromising work of dismantling, then you will see yourself. This journey, enlightenment journey, this spiritual journey, is about peeling the mind back and being thorough of the mind, understanding the nature of the mind, understanding how the mind comes into existence and how the mind becomes the reality. And thoroughness prepares you, makes you ready for the truth. So, anyway, the reason you're failing to be yourself, the self without the mind, is because you're constantly engaging with the mind. When you're engaging with the mind, your true self is denied, ignored. So, if you're interested to get to see your true self, or want to see the truth, the plain sight truth within, self-inquiry is the way. Self-examination is the way. Taking out all the faults in you. All mind is false. All belief is false. All ideas are false. When all the false is removed, what is left is you. And to get to the truth, stay in the journey. Even you have dismantled all aspects of your life, you stay in the journey and keep doing the work. And the final click will happen when you ask yourself, who am I? The who am I inquiry will make you see the truth. That's where the ego self in you recognize that the ego cannot comprehend the truth, and the ego gives up. Now, to make the who am I's inquiry to work, thoroughness is the must. If you don't understand the nature of the mind, if you don't understand your belief, if you don't understand your fear all the way to its root, if you're not thorough, enlightenment is not there. Even your nature is enlightenment. You are the truth, you are the consciousness. that is simply a mental identification. And mental identification is not freedom, not enlightenment. Okay, anyway, I hope this video makes sense. Again, the reason you are not able to be yourself is because you constantly engage with the mind. And if you have recognized that mind is not the truth, and you are being part of the spiritual practices, ritual to stop the mind, you are still engaging with the mind in your ritual, in your spiritual practices. The meditation is still clinging with the mind. Very much, most of the meditation you do is idea, and you focus on that idea, and you are being creative on that idea. That is simply coloring the consciousness or staggering the practice. When you focus on something, when you identify yourself in the mind and you call that as a spiritual practice, you are stagnating your inward journey. Your focus is on the mind, and the inward journey is blocked. So the meditation is actually blocking you to understand the mind. So the practice that you need to get to the truth or true self is witnessing yourself and tracing the mind backward and asking yourself, who am I? That's all you need. You don't have to believe me. No one can put the trust in you in the spiritual journey. Everything you hear is an idea. Until you try and start to see some spark, then you will have that inner trust. So how to get to the trust is be part of the practice. If nothing is working nothing is working to make you face towards the truth, nothing is making you be free from your fear, inner conflict, the drama, then give this practice a go. Witness, dismantle, ask yourself, who am I? Okay? I hope this video makes sense. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next video. Take care for now. Bye.